the country's been invaded. We British are going to be the minority very soon. Hello. How are you? I hope you're well. I'm doing something unusual today. I'm going for a walk. I don't know if you can see on this camera, but that patch of woodland there that you can see, that's my little bit of land where I live. So I've walked about 300 yards so far and I am knackered, but I just thought I've got to try and do it. Why I haven't been walking is because I don't have a dog anymore. Some of you know I did try to rescue a dog, but just wasn't fit enough to do it justice, and there was issues with it. But here I am trying to get fit again at 78 years old. What I've been doing is kind of exercises to strengthen my legs, because I haven't been walking, as I say, and I'm worried about losing the ability to do so. So I've been kind of doing things like my old exercises, like standing on my tiptoes and getting up from a chair without holding on to anything, and doing squats and things, only in a leisurely kind of way, not like a fanatical exerciser. But it's very odd being out for a walk without a dog. I had dogs most of my life. I walked most of my life. I mean, just for the sake of walking, not just for exercise, just because I like being out in nature. Not much nature in this field at the moment. I don't even know what it is they've planted. It's like kale. I think they plant that and then they kind of plough it back into the soil, like as a nourishment, fertilizer. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I'm walking to try and make myself live longer. Although there are times when I think I'm ready to depart, I'm ready to go. I've had enough of this world. I don't often feel like that, but just occasionally I do. Maybe more and more often these days. Since I think it's since I realised that the country's been invaded. We British are going to be the minority very soon. Oh, there's a rabbit. Oh, you won't be able to see. This camera's rubbish for that. Yeah, we'll be the minority, and in many of the cities we already are, and this is just my opinion. I'm not saying this is true, because if I said that outright I'd get arrested. But I think we have been invaded by the back door. I mean, if Hitler had used his brains, he could have done it, couldn't he? He could have just sent a few over at a time, gradually get themselves into the top jobs, gradually give all their friends top jobs. Before you know it, that's it, the invasion's done. That's just my opinion, of course. I mean, it's obviously not true. It obviously hasn't happened. But weird things you think of, isn't it, when you're going out for a walk? Well, I've made it to the end of the field, which is quite nice. I haven't been down here for several months now, so I've come all that way. Very quiet. No sign of the invading hordes here at the moment. Although perhaps if you walk down to the village, you might you might think, oh, it's looking a bit different round here. What's the word for it? The community is looking a bit different. The people are looking a bit different. That's what you might think. I don't know if that's true. I mean, that's just my opinion. I might be over exaggerating. I'm trying to think of a word for it when something changes completely. The demographic, is that the word? Has changed. It's certainly changed in a lot of Britain. And yeah, you notice it. Look at the autumn things there. Leaves are gradually changing, aren't they? Look at the berries. They're called haws. That's a hawthorn with the red berries. Yeah, haws. There's a lot of haws. Not that type of haws. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm just out for a wander, exercising my freedom. I'd like to go on a train one day and go to London. I'd like to visit the National Gallery and the National Portrait Gallery, but it's just not like the London I used to know. Which makes me sad. I've got some stories to tell about London. I mean, that I used to live in when I was a boy. I'm trying to see what bird that is. Little bird's up there. Oh, I've got my binoculars. I've got binoculars, but I've forgotten I had them. Rubbish with glasses on. Yeah, I used to sell newspapers at the Admiralty Arch side of Trafalgar Square when I was 11 and 12 years old. My brother Vic, my older brother, who's no longer with us, had the concession to sell the newspapers. I remember it so fondly. The men in their bowler hats coming past, buying the paper and letting me keep the change. Yeah, although I was kind of unhappy in foster care when my brother turned up out of nowhere and he was suddenly there for a couple of years. I was happy in my childhood. Loved London. Loved it very much. But it was a different place. Well, I'm doing quite well on my walking. I'm just going slow, as you can see, and I've got my stick. I made this stick many years ago. It's blackthorn stick. I painted it. Lovely life, isn't it? Let's look at these berries with the sun on them. not November yet, is it? November is it? Oh, look at those, beautiful, aren't they? What's this? I don't know what they are. I think might be called, well, someone will tell me, I expect, a wayfaring tree, a wayfaring, or is it a dogwood? I've never noticed it with the berries on before. Not so red. I mean, there's a hell of a lot of fruits about. I reckon it portends a harsh winter. What I used to say. That is a hawthorn tree, but the hawthorns have gone. I expect the squirrels. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not a hawthorn tree. What am I talking? There is hawthorn trees here. This is a hawthorn tree. That is a walnut tree. That's what I meant to say. There's no walnuts on it because I expect the squirrels have had them. Oh look, oh, there is some walnuts there. Can you see them? Beauties. I'll turn the camera off and then on again, then I can sort of zoom in on it a bit. You have to turn the camera off to do that. That's the best I can do. But they're big, aren't they? Because that's the outer shell of the walnut. When you see walnuts in a shop, you're only seeing the inner nut. Actually, looking at this tree, there's quite a few. I might come back here one day, quite soon, see if I can gather some. They're very, very good for you. Yeah, there's quite a lot on this tree. So maybe that one over there is an ash tree, and this is obviously the walnut tree, because they are very similar. The leaves are very similar structure. And you see this one here, that is definitely an ash tree because it's dying and it's got what's called ash dieback, which is very sad. Where that's come from, I don't know, I haven't looked it up, but it certainly happened. Here's an oak tree. Yeah. Let's see if I can get back to normal again. Look at that, that's a badger set. That's quite new, really. I've done a lot of digging, but this, where they've decided to do it, is actually a floodplain area for this field to drain into. So if we do get any floods, that's going to get flooded, isn't it? If it gets that high up. So I'm glad they're still about, the old badgers. This is the track I've walked down for many, many years. That greenhouses weren't there, but they've been there about 3 years now. They weren't there for many years, and that was just field. You could look across, right across the ford, and you could see, very often you'd see deer grazing there. I just saw a woodpecker, but I can't see it now. Green woodpecker as well. Yeah, I used to love coming down here because it's like a track then. It was just like going back in time. You know, there was no sign of modernism. They only built that greenhouses there to grow strawberries. I just heard the woodpecker then. Crab apples. Look at them. Hundreds of them. What can you do with crab apples? I remember very many years ago when I was, I don't know, 5 or 6 in the children's home in Croydon. There was a crab apple tree, and one day I ate a load, and I was very ill. Yeah, they grow strawberries in here. I estimated when they were making it that there's about 12 acres of greenhouse. 12 acres. That's 12 football pitches. And you'd wonder, who the hell? Why do I need so many strawberries? And that's only one grower. They must be quite popular. Maybe they send them to other parts of the world. Oh, that's one of the good things about the invasion that's happened. In my opinion, I mean, obviously there's no invasion, that's just silly talk. But the workers in there are all from foreign lands. I've spoken to a few of them when they come out here, and yes, they all seem to be foreign-speaking people, which is really lovely, isn't it? All these different cultures. Look at that tree. What leaves are those? I don't recognise the leaves. Is that a walnut tree? Why is it so far advanced in its death? It is a walnut tree. Wow. Maybe it needs a drink of water. And there's another one there, look, and that one is still green. And look, this is a horse chestnut tree. Don't know how he's got in there, but look how far advanced his decay is. I think a lot of them are crowded out from the sun. There's too many trees in there. I suppose that's just planted as a crop. The farmer just plants them as a crop, and he gets paid for, they get paid to plant them in any bare sort of land. So one day they'll just cut down firewood, perhaps. Some nice straight wood there, look. That's what happens when you crowd them, they grow nice and straight up. Anyway, I'm still wandering on, and I think I seem to have got a second wind. My legs aren't hurting. Maybe my exercise regime has paid off. Although I've still got to get home again, so I've got to do the whole thing again. And I've only walked about a mile so far, so if I turned around now and walked home, that would be 2 miles, wouldn't it? I'm quite good at maths. I'm going to carry on a bit further, maybe spot that woodpecker. I'm going to go across the railway onto the farmland. Obey the rules here. Look both ways. There is a train there, but I can manage. I gave him a wave. He's off to Barnum. Probably Portsmouth. Turned out to be a lovely day now. Anyway, let's carry on. Hope I don't regret this. There you are, look, you can look up where I am. I always used to go through there and walk around the reservoir, but they've blocked off that part of the reservoir now because people were going in there and leaving litter, which is really annoying. Spoiled it for everyone. You can still see a bit of the other part of the reservoir. Let's see if we can find anything on it. Lots of acorns. Squirrels are missing out, aren't they? Need some pigs here to eat all these up. That would be a good idea. See if there's anything on the water. I hope you're enjoying this little wander around. I hope I'm not too boring. Not a duck in sight. How peaceful that water looks. There's fish in there, you know. I have fished it. You're not supposed to, but I have. But I don't like rules. I need to get some new boots. These ones are falling apart. Actually, I need some walking boots. I think I'll order some. That might make life a bit easier for me. That's annoying, isn't it? But try to get through life without being annoyed. Quite difficult these days. Oh no, if I was a wildlife expert, I would know that that direction there is north. I'd know it because of this lichen on the tree trunk. Look at this oak tree, which is no more, it can't be more than 20 years old, but look how well it's grown. Oak trees grow very, very well in the first 40 years apparently, and then they slow down and become the magnificent specimens. Yeah, there's not so much lichen on this side of it. The bumblebee, endangered, you know. How sad that bumblebees are endangered. Could be that they're endangered because they're building houses on everywhere they live. I don't know who's going to live in all these houses, to be honest. Most people can't afford them. And the rents are astronomical. I expect they might find some people to fill them up. I don't know where they would come from, do you? Nice bunch of toadstools. Mushroom, maybe they're magic mushrooms. Oh, we're getting to the bridge. There's a troll lives under there. You must go over here very quietly because he gets angry. That's what I used to tell my son George when we used to walk this way when he was little. Shouldn't have done it really, should I? Well, I don't think he believed me. He knew that Grimm's fairy tales were only fairy tales. This is quite new to me. I think I've seen it once before, so maybe a year ago. Like that. So noisy, aren't they? Always leave gates as you find them. And here we are. Into the open countryside again. And there's the South Downs in the distance. Here's the aspen trees. I'd like to put out roots all over the place. I think I'll just go up to that gate and call it a day. That's called Fleabane. Fleabane. Unlike me, John Bain. Bain. Yes, I'm not doing too badly actually. So by the time I get home, if I make it in one piece, I'll have walked about 3 miles. Not bad for someone who hasn't really walked for ages. I'm going very slowly, but I have enjoyed it. And in the afternoon, well, when the sun came out a little while ago, it's very nice. Yeah, I always used to walk this way. I walk all around this farm. The farmer didn't mind people wandering around. He's very much into nature. I don't think he'd like all those plastic bags there though. There's sometimes cows in this field. There's a dairy farm just up there. As long as there's no bulls, we're all right. George and I, my son and I, used to catch sticklebacks in this little stream. It's absolutely loaded with sticklebacks and minnows, so there is hope for nature. I think that's horse dung. I thought you might be interested to know that. It's not all bullshit, some of it's horse dung. Right, I think I'm almost at the end of it now. I wish I hadn't worn this coat, to be honest. Yeah, thought I saw some horseshoe marks. Yeah, down in this stream, full of life. If you're lucky, you still see the occasional deer here. Well, I say the occasional, there's quite a lot of deer actually. We're not going to see them today. And up there, walk all that way up there. Or you can walk all around these fields on this farm. very, very lucky to have it so close to home. Because although I've walked maybe 1.5, 2 miles from home, as the crow flies, I'm probably only half a mile from it. It's just over there. And of course the railway stops you from getting here quicker, which is no bad thing. Anyway, thanks for joining me on my walk. I'm going to leave you in peace now, and I'll just carry on and hopefully make it back. Sure I will. My legs are still okay. Yeah. Thanks for looking in. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye for now. Bye. Bye. Oh, thanks to all the new subscribers, by the way. Very, very grateful.